Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I wanted to share 5 of my life lessons that I either am working on or think that are really important. There's obviously multiple, but today I just wanted to share 5 and then maybe I'll share another 5 or so on and so forth. So let's get started. Okay, so the first one would be everything demands consistency. Everything, whether it's your social life, whether it's your school life, whether it's your work life, whether it's your religious commitments, whatever it may be, whether it's a skill that you're trying to learn. So anything that you can think of, if you want to be good at it, it needs consistency. It's not like you just did this grand gesture on one day and that was enough and you're done for the year. No. And those small consistent acts count for a lot more than the rare grand gestures, because that's not something that we can count on, and that's not something that really improves us. That's not something that we can carry forward with ourselves, but consistency is that. So even if you do it bit by bit, always try to be consistent with whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Number 2, I think our life, our heart, our body, our mind is really good at telling us what we need. So if it's a break that we need, if it is a like an increase in seeing friends and loved ones, or saying, okay, you know what, too many social engagements at the moment, I need a break, I need to take some time off to myself and just recharge and then I'll come back, or I need to kind of get in touch with my religion a little bit more, whatever it is. But I feel like life and your heart and your mind tells you these things already, and I've started to really pay attention to it a lot more, and I do find that it gives me a lot more peace, and it's so important that for you to be at peace with where you are in life right now, just because that just means better relationships, that means better you, that means better I've talked about this in a previous video as well, but it means more productivity potentially as well. Like you are your best self when you are at peace with where you are and with who you are. So I think it's really important to take some time and just listen to your life and yourself and what you need, and give it what it needs. So it's helped me, I would say, get excited about what I'm doing and be more present in the moment. And it's really helped me understand myself better, in terms of what I want, what I need, what my preferences are, how I like to recharge, what my interests are and what I'm good at and where I want to develop. So all of these things, when you do start to pay attention to them, they really you start to notice these opportunities in your life and these places where you were overexerting yourself, and you can really scale back a little bit. So listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your heart, listen to the signs that your life is giving you, and I think it really helps with kind of keeping a balance and enjoying the moment and really feeling like you're in the right place at the right time. So number 3. Now, I know a lot of people, what they do is if there's a problem, they run away from the problem and they hope for it to get solved. And I have been one of those people who kind of put off, I'll do all this other stuff in my life, but then I'll leave the biggest task till the end, like the task that is giving me the most stress maybe, or that seems the most daunting, I'll leave that till the end. And I'll say, I'm doing all this other stuff, I'll leave this till the end and I'll do this, but I'll do it later. And look at me, I'm being so productive with like all these other like smaller tasks that I'm doing, or all the tasks that I found easier. Look at me being productive with all of them, and I'll do those first, and I'll leave the hardest or the most daunting and the least enjoyable task till the end. Now, don't do that. So the thing is with that, sure, you might be productive and you might be still doing work, and that's great, fine, but the thing is that you're constantly going to be thinking about that task that awaits you at the end, and you're going to be stressed out. Like if it's, for example, on your to-do list, there's 5 things and you've done the 4 and you're leaving the least enjoyable thing at the end, and that's the 5th task. So while you're doing your first 4 tasks, you're going to be thinking about the 5th one because you dread doing that. You know what I mean? Or that's the one that's stressing you out, and so you will stay stressed. You'll do all this stuff, but you'll stay stressed. And I mean, what's the point of that? Like, when I talk about it, like when I talk it out to myself sometimes, and it's like, it makes no sense. But the thing is that if you get that difficult task out of the way first, those 4 tasks that were easy already, those are going to be so much more enjoyable, and you're not going to be stressed. And you know, the hardest part of your day is behind you, and everything can just start looking up from there onwards. So I've started to understand this, realize this, be more aware of if I'm doing something like that, and so then I'll just face that situation first, deal with it, and then move on with the other things that I need to do. And it really helps with, again, with your peace of mind and with just you being your best, as opposed to being distracted and being somewhere else and not focusing on what is actually in front of you at that point. It needs consistent work and awareness so that you're making a conscious effort at, you know, handling the task that you're, part of you is trying to run away from, then another part of you has to say, no, this is what you're gonna do, deal with it first, and then you can move on. So it's a bit, I know that like it's hard sometimes because there's this part of you that already says, no, I don't want to do it right now. I'll do it later, but I'll do it, right? Like, isn't that enough? Like, isn't that good enough? Is deal with the situation, work it out, and usually what happens is it ends up being not that bad anyway. Like, because you're putting it off, it becomes this like mountain for you to climb when it's not really that big of a task. But just because you have this perception, this expectation and anticipation of this event or this task, the situation to be dealt with, it becomes much worse in your mind that if you just dealt with it and got it over with, that would just, you know, you wouldn't have time to kind of freak out about it and make it worse in your head than it might be. And usually when you actually get to it, it's not that bad. Like, you just gotta work through it, you just gotta face it, and then, you know, and you can then enjoy the rest of your day and have some ice cream, or, you know, give yourself a pat on the back, or give yourself a bit of a break after, or something. But get the work through the mess. Like, just face it. Like, so number 4 is something that I'm not really good at, and I'm working on it. I definitely am working on all of these things, really. Like, like I said, it's a constant, consistent effort that you need for anything that you want to be good at. So this is, but I would say that this is one of the more challenging ones for me, because I do forget it sometimes. And I think it's not just me, it's a lot of people. But I think one thing that's really important in life is to make sure that the people that you love, they know how you feel. Like, people might think that just because you are family, or just because you are, you know, in close proximity of each other, you see each other every day, or you're friends, so, you know, all these people in your life would know how you feel about them. But okay, they might know, right, that you love them, that you care for them. But it's nice, you will never regret telling a family member or a friend, you know, that, hey, I really care for you. Like, you won't regret saying those positive feelings, expressing those emotions. Like, it's not something that people do usually, I feel. Especially with brown families, we're not very expressive with each other, and it's unfortunate, really, because it always feels good, right? So if someone tells you that, hey, you know what, I was really proud of you for that, or hey, you know what, I am so happy that, you know, you did this, or I love you so much, like, hey, you know, good job on X, Y, and Z, or whatever, it always feels good. But we're so stingy with those compliments, or stingy with those remarks. Like, we're not a very expressive sort of people when it comes to emotions. And so I think maybe that's why it's a little bit more challenging. But I'm becoming more aware of it. Whenever I am reminded of this, I try to be more expressive, and, you know, and everyone has a different way of showing it, of course, but make sure that you do. Make sure that the people in your life know how you feel about them. They feel appreciated, they feel loved, they feel, you know, that that you're thinking of them in a positive light, and you're wishing well for them, and you're praying for them, like all these things. I know it's like, for example, with family, it's expected, you know it, but it's nice to hear it. It's nice to really feel it and see something in action or in words or some form, any way, whichever way you can, right? But make sure the people in your life know how they feel. It's very simple, but I feel like people forget, and they think that, well, obviously, like, they should know that, and they might know that, but it will make your day better, it'll make their day better if you just make that little bit of an effort. And yeah. And last but not least, number 5. So this is something that I am becoming a lot better at, something that again, I am becoming more conscious of and doing more consistently. And again, with this, you have to be more aware of how you are reacting in a situation. But I think it's really important to remember to be patient for what is to come, and to be grateful for what we already have. So I think both of these go hand in hand in terms of your peace of mind, peace of heart. Yes, it's important to work at things and, you know, work towards goals and stuff. Whatever it is that you're hoping and wishing and praying for, you have to be patient. That's the first and foremost thing, because if you're not, you're restless, like, it's gonna ruin what you, like, the moments that you have right now. Like, it's gonna ruin your present. It's gonna just, all it does if you're not patient is just give you anxiety, and it just makes you feel all restless, and that's not enjoyable for anyone really. And I don't know, like, it's given me a lot of peace of mind just having that at the forefront, like just thinking about that more consciously and making that decision to be patient. Like I said in my earlier videos, I did get laid off, so I am still out of work. I have applied to a few places, still waiting to hear back. There's one opportunity that I'm like really excited about, and it's, you know, I'm just out of excitement. I just want it to happen soon, but I have to remind myself, and when I do, it actually does give me peace. Like, it actually does help me to say, okay, well, when it happens, when the right opportunity comes, it will be great, and I'll be grateful for it, but I'm grateful for the time that I have right now. So keeping that in mind, it's allowing me to really find my peace right now and enjoy my time right now, you know, like to say, okay, well, you know, it's all right. Things are working out, alhamdulillah, and what I have right now, the time that I have to myself, the opportunity to be able to express my thoughts like this and share them with other people, things that I had just been writing down to myself, really, for myself for such a long time, I'm finally sharing with other people. And so it's an opportunity. This is something that I had not done before. So when the right opportunity comes, it will come, inshallah. And in the meantime, I am grateful for the time that I have right now. I'm grateful for what I can make of it, and then I can find, you know, peace and be in this moment and really enjoy it for what it is, because I don't know when I'm gonna have time to myself like this again. So yeah, so these are things that really have helped me kind of let go a little bit too, right? Because we're so, like, we're trying to just make stuff happen and make it happen quickly, and like we're just rushing through things, and like there's one thing to another. It's just, and it's overwhelming. Like, it's sometimes it's too much, right? So I mean, I don't know if this is something that comes with just time. Like, the older you get, just you start to let go of a lot of things that you thought were important, or you just become more patient and you start to just trust the timing of this universe more. But I'm just really glad that I have this lesson under my belt. It's given me a lot of perspective in terms of enjoying the moment, and it's made me also realize just how much there's to be grateful for. There's so much to be grateful for in any given moment. If you're alive, that's it. Like, you gotta be grateful for, there's a lot to be grateful for already. So these are 5 things that have been really important to me, that I want to carry with me in my mind and my heart, you know, every single day. And I just wanted to share share these lessons, these thoughts, these mantras with you so that hopefully you can maybe, you know, apply some of them in your life. I asked this question to my friends as well, and I just found it really interesting that even though we've spent a lot of time together and we've shared a lot of the same life experiences and we're the same age and everything, we all had very different perspectives and things that we put value on, and you know, different things that we've all learned in life, because everyone has different experiences at the end of the day and everyone perceives them and takes them differently. So I found it really interesting, that conversation that I had with my friends. So I want to share the same question with you. What would you say are some of the most important life lessons that you've learned that, you know, you carry with you now? So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, take care of yourself and of this world. Without this.